everyone. How are you doing? I hope everybody's doing well and that you are ready for this Valentine's Day love reading. I don't particularly like Valentine's Day. I think it's a little bit tacky, but I think February is the month where everyone is kind of more intensely tuned into the energy of romance and romantic love. And I have recently done a tarot reading on my own relationship. So, and it was very insightful. So that gave me the idea and motivation to make a video for you as well. If you are in a relationship, your reading is going to come first. If you're not in a relationship currently, but you're looking for love and you would like to see my reading on your situation, then you will need to fast forward a little bit because I'm going to be doing a reading for you later after the first reading, and you will find the timestamp in the description. By clicking on it, it will take you to the exact part in the video where your reading starts. I'm going to be using the 5 elements tarot spread, which I think is a very versatile, very well-structured reading type, which you can use for many purposes, and that's what I'm trying to demonstrate. And it's fairly easy to use, so if you're learning about the tarot and you would like to learn about a relatively easy to use tarot spread, then this video might be useful for you. So, as I said in the beginning, I'm going to do a reading for people who are in a relationship currently, just to kind of see how the energies that are all around us are affecting the relationship on different levels and from different aspects. So, the 4 elements will represent the 4 main aspects of the relationship. The first one being Earth, which is the foundation, I would say, of the relationship, the common ground, the shared values, and practical goals in life that connect you. Okay. The next one is the element of water. Water represents emotions, so it's going to reveal how you relate to your partner on a level of feelings, The next card will be your connection on a mental level. So it's basically the intellectual connection, your way of thinking, and verbal communication as well. The fourth card will represent fire, and that's the level of passion, sexuality, attraction between the two of you, and also the motivating factors. So what motivates you in this relationship? What brings you further? And the fifth and final card will represent the future influences on the relationship. All right. Okay. So we have two major arcana cards here, which are an indication that there's a maturation process happening in this relationship. And I believe that having the Emperor in the middle, I would like to first talk about this card. The Emperor represents the importance and the presence of a well-defined structure. And since this is in the position of the future for this relationship, I would say that it's definitely pointing towards the solidifying of the given relationship. And it's also speaking to the importance of realizing that there needs to be some sort of established and agreed upon way in which you define this relationship. And that could mean different things depending on which stage of the relationship you're at right now. If it's a new relationship, then it could be the first steps of figuring out whether this is a boyfriend, girlfriend, or a real partnership, or if it's just something that you do for fun. If this is this has the potential to turn into something serious or not. So this discussion is coming up for you. And if you're already in a well-established relationship, then it's an indication that you need to take it to the next level. More commitment is needed, and that you need to figure out a way to keep the relationship together and make it function better. Because there's definitely a level of dysfunction in certain points. Actually, this one card is definitely suggesting to me that there's some things that need to be improved. So the first card, the element of earth, represents your shared values and the foundation of the relationship. And we have the Six of Pentacles here, which is telling me that, well, Pentacles are related to the earth element, so this is a good card to have in this position. And it's all about interaction and exchange and being open to moving things around, being open to exchanging information, exchanging experiences, exchanging knowledge, or being open to trading and to even donating your skills or your resources. It could be about donating money even. The Six of Pentacles is about the realization and the acknowledgement of the fact that money is not something to be gathered and forgotten about. It's not something that you just pile up and don't use. It's a creative way of utilizing your resources, and not just money. It has everything. Everything is connected with the Pentacles element that could be counted as a resource. So that's why I also mentioned skills. So you both share this point of view of openness about this, and this easygoing but nevertheless strategic point of view about this subject. And that's what's connecting you. You have a very generous spirit, the both of you, and you realize that there needs to be a dynamic exchange on this level of the material world in order to create prosperity. And that's something that is giving a good foundation to this relationship, because you're on the same page. There's harmony here. And your long-term goals are also connected with this card. And it suggests to me that you anticipate growing together by relying on one another in a dynamic way. So you're constantly looking for feedback, and you're trying to figure out the next step in cooperation with your partner. So that's really great. However, on the mental level, the level of intellect and verbal communication, we have the Hanged Man. And that suggests to me that there are some old, rigid, and no longer functional communication styles that you still have in your relationship. And what I mean by that is certain ways arguments go in a relationship. They always repeat the same pattern, and the way you have a conversation about something that upsets you is it follows the same recipe that is not working. The Hanged Man is in a position of being stuck, a position of vulnerability and an inability to move forward. And it's also a major arcana card. So that's telling me that you haven't been able to really improve your communication strategies, on the verbal level. So that's something that you should really think about and look into, because you guys share the same set of values, and you're great together. You inspire one another. But then there's an obstacle on the level of words and how you express yourself. So, yeah. And the emotional level, we have the King of Wands. And that's telling me that this relationship is very very mature, very well developed on an emotional level. And if this is a new relationship and you're just starting out, then it means that it has the potential to be that way. So that's definitely a good sign. And also, if your relationship is new, then you obviously cannot have these old rigid patterns, because you haven't been together that long. Then I would say that it means that that you have a difficulty expressing yourself still, but it's because of inexperience with the other person. So then it would be useful to perhaps sacrifice your point of view for the other person, to really listen to what they have to say and be open to the other person, because otherwise this could be a real problem, a real blockage in the relationship as it moves on and as it develops further. But the King of Wands is a great card, and it speaks to a confidence in yourselves and in the relationship. And it also is telling me that you're ready to do whatever it takes to make the other person happy. Wands represent fire, and fire is related to the idea of actions. And so the emotional level is very active. So you're actively showing your love, and in a very mature and very intelligent way, because of the King being in this position. The King has mastered the given suit that he is the king of. And here, when we're talking about fire, we're talking about someone who is aware of what they want and is also considerate of other people's interests and their different motivations. So there's a lot of respect there, and a huge level of ability to control your own impulses. So that's a really great card here. And also with fire, the element of fire, sexuality and attraction and motivation, we have the Three of Cups. And that's telling me that the relationship is very rich on this level, that you have a complex and emotionally satisfying connection. And there's a lot of attraction too. And it's playful, so it's not like dramatic or in any way, how should I say this? So it's just not an emotionally overcharged situation. It's just on the right level, It's playful, it's satisfying, and it's creating a great friendship between the two of you. The Three of Cups is the card of friendship. So that's suggesting to me that that you're really great together, and the romantic aspects of the relationship are also present, but it's also like a great friendship connection. So yeah, I would say, all in all, I think the Emperor is showing you the way. There needs to be some things that need to be cleared up. With the Hanged Man, you need to figure out how to communicate more effectively. But other than that, you're going in a good, solid direction with this relationship. And if you would like a more detailed relationship reading, which is more specific to your situation and is more revealing, because obviously the five elements reading can only show the general outlook of what the relationship is like. But if you would like a reading about your relationship, I have the relationship reading that you can email me about. I have my email address in the description box, and you can also check it out on Patreon or on my PayPal site. So this reading is for you if you're single, and like I said, we're going to do a 5 elements reading, and the 5th element is going to be you. So you are in the middle of this reading. That's going to be the first card we pull. Okay. And then the 4 elements surrounding you. And I'm going to explain what they mean during the reading. The earth element, water, air, and finally fire. All right. Okay. So you are in the middle. Okay, so this reading is basically a look at where you are in life right now and how you could improve in certain areas of life. And we're going to start with the general situation of what's going on with you. And here we have the Two of Wands. Now, the Two of Wands is not a particularly open type of energy. Wands represent fire, and the Two of Wands is all about action. So you're probably pretty busy at the moment, perhaps even too busy to think about getting deep into a new relationship. And the Two of Wands also represents a level of dominance. And it's also a powerful card of manifestation. So it seems to me like you are hyper-focused on something and you're doing everything you can to get closer to your goals. And you're very involved with that. That doesn't leave a whole lot of room for a relationship. So right now, it's probably not the time for you to even think about getting into a new relationship, because you have more important things to do for yourself and in your life. The earth level represents your finances, the physical, material foundation of your life. It could also be related to health in a way, or your general physical well-being. And here we have the Nine of Swords. And that's not a very positive card to see, because it's all about worry and anxiety. And I'm sensing that there's your physical circumstances, the conditions of your life, of your independence, of your self-reliance are not exactly figured out at this point. And you have a lot of worry and regret and perhaps some shame about that. And the point is to realize that a lot of this is coming from the mental plane, because swords represent air, and air is connected with thinking. And the Nine of Swords is one of those cards from the sword suit where your mind becomes your enemy. When your mind turns against you and tortures you and is basically bullying you and is creating an unhealthy environment for you. So I would say that most of the worry is not justified. There's definitely some problems on this plane or in this aspect of your life. It's not perfect. It's not a well-functioning structure right now that you could rely on. But you're definitely working on it. The Two of Wands is indicating to me that you're not thinking about giving up, that you're strong, and you realize that it's your actions that are really important at this time, and that your actions are going to change the whole experience for you. We have two major arcana cards here. Emotions, water. We have the Devil, and the Devil is kind of a tricky card. The Devil card in the position of water and emotions is quite a difficult card, and it could go both ways. I mean, the Devil card in and of itself is not necessarily a horrible card, but when it comes to emotions and trying to figure out who we are and what we're doing in life, it can be kind of an obstacle. And with the water element comes the importance of feelings and emotions and how we relate to the world on that level. And the devil card is telling me that there's a level of confusion there, that there's some sort of obsession. Perhaps you have someone in your life who you know that you cannot be with, but you still fantasize about them and you obsess over them, and there's just this illusory fantasy world being built, and a lot of frustration, I would think. And also the devil speaks to not only addiction and obsession, but also to being attached to an idea, perhaps a person or a concept of how things should work. And I would say that the most important thing for you would be now to practice letting go, because the devil is all about being fixated on something and not being able to move away from it, and that creates this kind of pathological, sick feeling on a spiritual level, because you're not free. You're imprisoned by your own ideas or your own desires. It's definitely not healthy. On the intellectual level, the level of air, we have temperance. And temperance is a wonderful antidote to the devil. So the key to dealing with your emotional problems is to use the rational, analytical side of your brain a little more, to have the confidence to rely on your logic and your understanding of how things work. Do not get carried away by your wild emotional states that can occur every now and then. Do not believe that these intense emotional attachments are serving you. Use your mind's ability to clarify and to heal these obsessions, these preconceived notions about how a love relationship should be, or what a partner should be like, or what you are supposed to do in order to attract a new relationship. All that kind of useless emotional garbage that you might be carrying in your soul, that is just oppressing you and depressing you and is not taking you any further. With the clarity of the temperance card, you're able to see right through it. So exercise some judgment, some intellectual judgment every time you're being confronted with those complicated feelings. And if you trust your intellect, your rational thinking, you will be able to find a way out of this, because we have the Ace of Swords here, which is basically the solution to whatever is going on here with the Nine of Swords as well. So basically what we have here is a problem and a solution, a problem and a solution. And you're working really hard at it. You're trying really to improve your situation. So that's really, really good. So The Ace of Swords represents an idea, an aha moment, and the Ace of Swords in this position, which is the position of fire, which is all about sexual energy, motivation, passion, our creativity. It's the energy and the fuel that you derive from your thinking, from your rational thinking, from analyzing and really truly trying to understand what's going on. So an analytical approach in your case at this time can bring you all the answers. And also by following your passions, whatever makes you feel enthusiastic and engaged and interested, follow those paths, because they are really going to show you the next best step. You're going to be able to see more clearly if you go with your passions and you try to break things down for yourself on an intellectual level. I hope that you enjoy this reading, and I hope that it could help you a little bit. Thank you for watching, and see you in my next video.